It wasn't always pretty, especially because of what conditions warranted in this game. And I know some of you may not be thrilled about what this means for the tank, but for just one day, the New York Jets took on a team that I think was probably the best team they've played this year with all of the active players there. The Atlanta Falcons, even with the Bengals being where they are, I think without Burrow, this Falcons team without Michael Penix and Drake London is still better than the Bengals team the Jets played. And they had inclement weather. They had a secondary that really had no interest in being a secondary today for whatever reason. I'm not really sure why. We had a normally pretty stout run defense that had no interest in stopping Bijan Robinson, who what a talent Bijan Robinson is right now. But against all of that, and even with Nick Folk missing his first field goal of the season, it felt like his first career with how many in a row he's made dating back to last year. The gritty, tough-ass, not dying New York Jets find a way to pull this out. They win 27-24, a game that is going to be dominated, obviously, by the Folk game winner, but one name stands out above the rest, and it is his best game as a Jet. It's his best game as a pro. It is Adonai Mitchell until he has another game like this, which I think he will soon. This henceforth is known as the Adonai Mitchell game, and it gave the Jets a 27-24 win. Thank you for tuning in. I'm Mike Luciano of the Jet Press Podcast. Justin Fried will be here momentarily, but thank you for tuning in. We got plenty to talk about in this game because there are a lot of implications, especially after the Saints ended up barely losing to the Dolphins. They now have the number 2 overall pick. The Jets have fallen to number 6 overall, and as Brian Sternbeck mentioned, they could fall to 7 if the Washington Commanders end up losing tonight, which it looks like they might because Jaden Daniels is still banged up. So the draft order is falling, and there are QB-needy teams ahead of them. I get all that, but let's not focus on that right now. Let's go talk about some good stuff. And you know where to find us, Apple, Google, Spotify, Overcast, wherever you get your podcasts. We are there. And on YouTube, you can like and subscribe. Those things really help. Liking the stream really does help boost us up the algorithm. YouTube made some algo changes right now. So if you like the stream a lot, especially early on, that really does help boost it up a little bit because it's a big signal to YouTube that this is what people are looking for. So that's how to help boost us up there. Let's just get right into it because we got to talk about the elephant in the room right here. We have to address it, and that is Adonai Mitchell. Because just even a week ago, we were talking about, man, John Mechie might have been a better addition. John Mechie looks in sync with Tyrod Taylor. John Mechie is making some plays, catching some touchdowns. Meanwhile, Adonai Mitchell had 3 catches in 2 games and more drops than anything else. And he goes up against a Falcons defense that is not totally healthy, but they have one of the best pass defenses in the NFL. It's Jeff Ulbrich, our old buddy Jeff Ulbrich. We remember that scheme from when he was with the Jets, but before he replaced Saleh and he had to do everything himself. We remember how he was the DC. I would say pretty good. They're facing it again, and for large chunks of the game, even though they were moving the ball, the big plays weren't really there. They got Mason Taylor involved early and then just kind of went away from him. I'm not really sure why. Breece Hall had an okay day, but not a lot of big runs, just constantly churning out a lot of small. Like he had 68 yards and a touchdown. He had no play longer than 9 yards on any of his 21 touches in this game. So not a great day for him. But if you look at the totality of what happened here, Adonai Mitchell, who made a great play on the ball for his first career touchdown, holding on to the ball, I might add, ends up coming back to it off. That was a duck that Tyrod Taylor threw. That thing was a freaking duck. And then Adonai Mitchell showing he can be a deep threat that they may end up being able to rely on in the future, ends up coming back to it, making an amazing catch, the best of his 8 today, the best 52 yards of his 102 total yards today as Justin Fried joins in here. We got a lot to talk about the Jets in the last 5 games looking very much like a real team. Kind of making me mad because what could this team have looked like if they didn't give Justin Fields so much rope at the beginning of the year? But let's just get the celebratory thing out of the way first, because not only did Nick Folk hit that game-winning field goal, but this henceforth, until he has another one like this, is the Adonai Mitchell game.
Hell yeah!
Adonai Mitchell, man, I was starting to doubt him because it looked a lot like what he was doing with the Colts, and then he has a game like this against one of the best pass defenses in the NFL in the Atlanta Falcons.
Yeah, man. Yeah, we want to start with Mitchell.
I mean,
I was
he's the toast of the town today.
no, I 100% agree. 8 catches, 102 yards, career day for Adonai Mitchell. Have
And they
yourself
were
a
all
day, my
big
friend.
catches too in clutch situations.
Yes, he had some really clutch catches down the stretch. Of course, he had the 52-yard bomb from Tyrod Taylor. He's an NFL wide receiver, and that is what I thought when the Jets acquired him. I know he had the rough, inconsistent debut performance. But once again, coming out of that game, my takeaway wasn't, man, this guy can't play. My takeaway was he had a couple of bad drops, right? Which, by the way, John Mechie had a couple of bad drops today, and I hope he can bounce back from that. But the other takeaway was
really quick though. Sauce Gardner, everybody was watching that calf strain, not an Achilles. So
yeah, his exact quote. He said it felt like someone shot him in the leg. Which, man, how is that?
Oh my God,
how's that not an Achilles? Like that?
How is that not? I don't think he plays for probably the rest of the regular season, but
yeah. Which, man, look, we can talk about the Colts stuff.
The Jaguars won today. The Colts lost. I think the Jags are in first in the AFC South now. That Colts pick on Tankathon is now, or it's still 26, but it was 28. It's going down.
There's a real chance the Colts miss the playoffs. I'm being completely serious when I say that. They play the Jags twice. They've been struggling late.
They play the Texans again too.
I think Niners. So. Yes, and they just lost to Houston today. The Jags also, by the way, play the Titans twice and the Jets, who maybe they're not as easy even out as we would have thought early in the year. But Adonai Mitchell gets open, man. That was my takeaway from that first game when we watched him. I know he had the drops and stuff, but he's consistently open. He is an excellent route runner who obviously has the deep speed to separate downfield. But as we saw today, he's not just a downfield threat. I think he's still going to struggle sometimes in contested catch situations. I don't think that's ever going to be his thing in the NFL. He's just kind of got a wiry frame, but he's getting open. And he's an NFL wide receiver that consistently can create separation, which the Jets don't really have outside of Garrett Wilson. And now they have a guy in Adonai Mitchell who is under contract for the next 2.5 years on a rookie deal. That's huge. And I was very, very impressed by what we saw from him. Just overall thoughts in the game. Again, this is another game where the Jets, they won in the margins, right? And a lot of that was special teams, which we kind of knew going into this game. The Falcons have been up and down on special teams this year. They've had a lot of kicking issues, which wasn't
Since
really
like 1982. They've been up and down on special teams.
They've had a lot of kicking issues this year. It wasn't really the problem for them today, but look, they had a bad punt in that final sequence. Bradley Pinion, right? He's their punter still.
Yes.
He had a bad punt in that final sequence. Austin McNamara did not. The Jets had an 83-yard kick return from Isaiah Williams. They were consistently in better field position, and that's a big reason why they won this game. Of course, the muffed punt
they got handed 10 points because of the muffed punt. Correct. And then the big Isaiah Williams return. They got handed the margin of victory there.
Correct.
This second time this year that special teams is basically bailed the Jets out.
Yeah, here. And I know people will look at that and say, that's not sustainable. And who knows how sustainable it is year over year. But I do think that a lot of those pieces that are contributing to that right now are going to be here next year. Austin McNamara looks like the punter of the future, right? The whatever you want to call him, right? Kene Nwangwu, awesome player. Isaiah Williams, what a redemption arc for Isaiah Williams. Both of those guys
looked as clueless as a player. Yeah. That Miami game, I'm like, and when they kept him after that, I'm like, this is they don't know what they're doing territory. Yep. Oh, they know what they're doing.
Both of those guys should be here next year. And if you notice too, on these returns, I want to heap as much praise as I can at Nwangwu and Isaiah Williams, but the blocking is stellar, Mike. And that's not just like a one or two player thing. That you have to look at the coaching for that, right? And Chris Banjo
the Jets are like the Steelers of special teams coordinators because they've had Mike Westhoff, Brant Boyer, and probably now Chris Banjo are going to survive how many regimes?
It seems like centers and special teams coordinators, they have historically just consistently had great great guys at, which maybe not necessarily the most conducive to winning is those specific positions hitting on, but hey, man, I think that part is sustainable. When you look at what Chris Banjo has been able to do for this unit, and you just look at the coaching staff as a whole, I thought up and down first half from Tanner Engstrom, but he pushed a lot of the right buttons in the second half. Tyrod Taylor, I thought, gave the Jets one of their best quarterback performances of the year. Again, it was kind of a sluggish half for really both offenses, but in that
bad weather, before Mason Taylor got a couple catches early, but Mitchell was the only one really getting open. So
yeah, in that third and fourth quarter, both offenses kind of kicked into high gear. And look, there's still a lot of flaws with the offense. There's still a lot of flaws with the defense, absolutely. But you see signs of progress. The Jets are now 3-2 in their last 5 games, and yeah, those 3 wins have come against bad teams and they've come against bad backup quarterbacks, but listen, man, the Jets are also a bad team. And if the bad team
with a backup quarterback,
with a backup quarterback. And if the bad team that is the Jets can beat up on other bad teams, that's a sign that this team is a little further along than we probably thought they were in the first 7 games of the year, when I think both of us sat on here in the podcast and said they're the worst team in the NFL. And I don't think that was nearly a hot take.
I never thought they were worse than the Titans, but
I did at a point. There was absolutely, when they went 0-7, man, there was a point where I was like, I don't know if they beat the Titans. I really don't. Now they've won 3 of their last 5. They're beating up on bad teams. Look, man, I understand the draft conversation, and you want a higher pick. I understand that. The Jets have 5 first-round picks for the next 2 years. This year's quarterback class is not particularly loaded. Ty Simpson's stock has fallen a bit in recent days, or recent
Moore's
weeks.
kicking back up.
More, but I don't think he's going to be in this class.
I'm going to be honest, I'm going to be honest, Justin Fried. Sure. I talked to a lot of drafty guys. It is kind of 50-50. I feel like you're the only one leaning on, I really think Moore's going back.
Todd McShay has been adamant for months that he has it on like 100% authority that Dante Moore's not going to be in this class. He's generally right about that stuff. That's kind of where I'm basing a lot of this off of. Right. Some murmurs, but he continues to be he's like, both Dante Moore is on board with this, the Oregon staff, his family, his agent, everyone is on board. And
I just hope it's not an Aller or a Sellers or a Matt Barkley.
If Dante Moore is in this class, he very well might be my QB1. I think he's been awesome lately. I get wanting to see a few more starts. He did have some starts his first year at UCLA. This is his first year as a full-time starter at Oregon, but he's looked awesome. Like, I don't know what this quarterback class is going to look like, was the point of that, right? Who knows? Arch Manning could still be in the class. We don't know. But I'm less concerned about draft position at this time because of the capital and flexibility that the Jets have, as well as the generally weak or just uncertain quarterback class. And I'm more concerned about the on-field tangible progress we're seeing, which, man, they're 3-2 in their last 5. I can't be mad about that.
I'm going to put this in an article I'm writing for the Jet Press that'll go up after this, but we now have 3 coordinator hires. I think firmly Tanner Engstrand, when he doesn't have to play around Justin Fields, hit. Like, there's creative stuff concept-wise he draws up there. Like,
he's great on a whiteboard. They scored 24 against a very good defense. Now, again,
with Tyrod Taylor and no Garrett Wilson.
Now, 10 of those points were gifted to them, like you mentioned, because of special teams. I think the Jets' offense was consistently put in favorable situations, but yeah, they're executing.
Fields. He didn't always score them.
Correct. They're executing with a backup quarterback who Tyrod Taylor played well today. He's a fringe starter, right? This was a good Tyrod Taylor game, but it wasn't necessarily.
Best I've seen him run in a while.
He looked very good out there. He looked healthy too, and he took some hits, and he was able to bounce back up. I don't know. It's impossible to ask Tyrod Taylor to stay healthy, but if you were getting this Tyrod Taylor, I would not mind bringing him back next year as your fringe starter, potentially to pair with a young quarterback.
How could people watch this, even parts of games like this, and then watch Justin Fields and be like, nah, like I want him.
He just does all the
How do you do
stuff.
that?
He does all the easy stuff, but very simple, like out pat. Like, how many quick out routes for 5 yards the Jets have in this game?
A lot, and how many Fields didn't hit him?
That's just stuff Fields was not doing, and it makes the job of the offensive coordinator so much more difficult if you don't have a quarterback who can make those plays.
Now, they hit on. It looks like they hit on it. I don't know how much of a hit, but a minor hit, let's say, for right now. We'll see next year how he does with a new quarterback. A+ stellar number 1 hit with Chris Banjo.
Yes.
Awesome.
might be the best special teams coordinator in the NFL right now.
Awesome. And then I think confirmed miss on Wilkes because
I would say trending miss. Like, I think there's still a chance he's back next year, but
the pattern lately now, because again, it's going to be December and they have no interceptions, but
it's crazy.
The pattern for Steve Wilkes is in the last few weeks, especially in the first half, defensively, they've been awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, 7 points this week, 3 points with Baltimore. I forget what they gave up in New England. Was it like 10 or something like that?
They were getting run on today, but
Bijan Robinson's just
Bijan Robinson's amazing, but they still held Atlanta to 7 points in the first half, even though they were averaging probably 7 yards a carry.
So what happens is he comes in, he puts in a couple wrinkles every week, and they had no Jarvis Brownlee in this game. So that Jasir Taylor, woof on that.
Yeah, he's not good.
I know what you expect, but still. So he puts in a new wrinkles. Teams are unprepared, and he goes, "Whoa, I got it!" And then they go to halftime. They go, "Okay, we just got to beat them like this," and then they can't stop anybody in the second half.
Yeah, a lot of it is talent. Like, a lot of it is,
and they just don't have anybody right now. So
yeah.
And I would have liked a better performance again. I know that Tony Adams and Michael Clemens got sacks.
They did. Each of them got a sack. First half sacks.
But against Kirk Cousins, who can't move, Kirk Cousins in this sort of weather and Kirk Cousins without Drake London.
And
I
David
would have
Sills,
liked to
wide
see
receiver
them
too.
get to him more. I would have liked to see him not move the ball through the air as easily as he did. It felt like half the plays were in Jets territory in the second half for the Falcons. And obviously they won, but like, I think it's becoming clear that we are coming to, I want to bring Dan Campbell and the Lions up, but Dan Campbell hit on Aaron Glenn, it looks like as a coordinator, hit on his special teams guy, and then he missed on his OC, Anthony Lynn. So he said, all right, I'll replace him with Ben Johnson, and then things took off. I feel like we're trending towards that a little bit.
I think specifically in this game, a lot of the offensive-defensive matchup, like Jets defense versus Falcons offense, was the Falcons have Kyle Pitts and Bijan Robinson, and the Jets don't really have anybody as talented as that on their defense. In fact, they don't.
McCrary Ball over Malagoa now, it seems?
Yeah, I believe, which that's what it was to start the year, so that's not shocking. By the way, he planted himself, but that was one of the funniest play. And then I don't know what the taunt.
Yeah, well, yeah, Justin puts this GIF up in like
140p.
Okay.
Here is, I don't know what happened. I'm going to blame Twitter for this because I looked up the GIF. I was like, Rhea Ripley DDT plan. If any wrestling fans out there, they understand what I'm talking about. And it was a perfect quality GIF. And then I posted on Twitter and it looks like it's 6 pixels. I'm like, I don't know what happened here.
That reminds me of, I'm going to shout him out because my grandpa, happy birthday, Pop. He turned 80 yesterday.
Hey, happy birthday.
I was visiting him once. And I saw that he like printed out a picture. Like, you have an email attachment that you download the picture. He took a screenshot of the full email, like with the username and all that, printed that out and laminated it because it had the picture on it.
Oh my goodness.
And that's what I'm thinking at Justin's. What? How do you work this?
It wasn't me. It was Twitter. I'm going to blame Twitter. But yeah, Kyle Pitts, 7 catches, 82 yards. Bijan Robinson, 23 carries, 142 yards and a touchdown. Also 5 for 51 in the air.
He is ridiculous. Just unbelievable.
The Jets just don't have the personnel, I think, to match up with that. But also credit to Zach Robinson, Falcons offensive coordinator, who kind of realized, well, we have Devin Tompkins and David Sills at wide receiver, and we got fuck all on offense with Kirk Cousins.
Who's better, Devin Tompkins and David Sills, or like Tyler Johnson, Allen Lazard, Arian Smith?
Oh, well, yeah. If you take out Adonai Mitchell and John Mechie, I don't know, man. It's close. I think Tyler Johnson is as good as David Sills, and I think Allen Lazard.
What a rip-roaring debate that'll be.
And I think Allen Lazard should be better than Dylan Drummond and Devin Tompkins, but like it's not players. Good. Yeah, but Dylan Drummond sounds like a fake player.
Like, do I want to give credit for Wilkes for having these good first halves and like with this personnel to give up 10 points in your last 2 first halves?
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, that's good. And then he just melts down in the second half. I don't know what happened.
I think the talent gap starts to take over. I think
was that a Wilkes thing then or a talent thing?
It's hard. It's really actually hard to evaluate this Jets defense. And I think some of it is a schematic thing. Like we've pointed out some numbers in the past. They're very predictable with their blitzes. They run a lot of man on third down and they get beat in those situations. It's hard to say how much of that is personnel, how much of that is, I think the linebackers have had a very inconsistent year in coverage, Sherwood specifically, and their safety play. Well, Malachi Moore has been fine, and I think a starting caliber player. They haven't got much from the other spot, whether it was Tony Adams or Andre Cisco or whoever was starting there.
Azaria, I think, was a little better today.
Yeah. Again, a lot of his issues just seem to be like just speed oriented, where he got beat by Devin Tompkins early in the game on that crosser, and he just couldn't keep up with him. But I think he's a good player.
But I've liked more than I've disliked from him.
Agreed. He had the DPI as well in the end zone, but I agree. He's an NFL player. I'm happy going in the next year with Azaria Thomas as a starting corner. But yeah, and then the pass rush is bad. And we'll get to some of these comments just really quick. I saw this one. Falcons running backs accounted for 248 total yards in this game. If it isn't proof that the D-line is overall bad, I don't know what is. Yeah, the Jets defensive line is bad.
Briggs is good. Phillips is good, but in totality, the pieces don't.
Briggs and Phillips are keepers. Jermaine's a keeper. McDonald, he had a 2-play sequence in, I think, the third quarter where he pressured Kirk Cousins, and then in the play out that he read a Bijan Robinson like little flare out and was able to get out there. But outside of that, I thought this was a very bad Will McDonald game. Was not able to consistently create pressure.
It's not every fifth. It's like you go to you get the punch cards. It's like on your 6th thing you get a free milkshake. That's Will McDonald. Like every 5th game you get a sack.
Yeah, on his 5th game he gets 4 sacks. That's
so he's like challenging for the league lead, but he has sacks in like 5 of his 18 games.
By the way, NFL news: Justin Herbert going to the locker room with an injury. Trey Lance coming in at quarterback.
Oh dear.
Bring one to watch there. Trey Lance, possibly worse than Zach Wilson. We don't know. It's up there. It's
We have more evidence of Zach Wilson being bad, I guess.
We do. But yeah, I agree with that, Brian. The defensive line is not good. Specifically, the pass rush has been very bad. Although in this game, the run defense took a big step back. I don't even know how much of it was the run defense and how much of it was like I would distinguish between run defense and bad tackling. Because the tackling in this game was awful. This was the worst the Jets defense has tackled in a while.
Everybody's all slippery. That's the problem.
It looked like a solid defense. Now, yeah, part of that was it's raining. Everyone's slippery outside. Also, you're facing Bijan Robinson, who is one of the most elusive players in the NFL. I think that contributed to it too. But there was a lot of even the David Sills. Like David Sills should not be making any NFL player miss the way he made Jasir Taylor miss on that touchdown. That was embarrassing.
You heard like a wheek, like sound effects.
That was like that's like if you're juking with a player in Madden and it's like a 60 agility guy. That's what it looks like. That was that David Sills juke, and somehow he made Jasir Taylor miss.
Let's get to some comments a little bit. Before that, Joe, I want to say one look at these 5 games after we thought it was over. It was actually let's go back to 7 when they were 0-5 because that Dallas game was the blown out. Would have won if not for bottom 100 quarterback play from Justin Fields.
Denver, right?
Denver and London.
And in Carolina.
Would have won if not for bottom 100 quarterback play from Justin Fields. Win. Respectable 1-score game in the fourth quarter road loss to the number 1 seed in the AFC.
Yep.
Respectable, very close loss to Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry.
It would have been 1 score and not for the. Obviously, we're doing a lot of ifs here, but it would have been 1 score if not for the Brees Hall fumble, most likely.
Yep. And then win. You'll take that, even no matter what the record. Like that's a pretty good stretch.
They're a respectable bad team right now. They clearly don't have a lot of talent, but they're playing up to the competition when they play good teams and playing up to the competition when they play bad teams and beating said bad teams. That's what you want.
2 more questions for the comments because it's related to the Jets. Who would win if they played tomorrow, the Jets or the Giants?
Oh, man, that's tough because the Giants are clearly a better and more talented team than the Jets, but they've consistently found ways to lose games this year in a way that makes it hard for me to pick them. I would say Giants, but I wouldn't feel confident about that. Like the Giants are a better football team.
And are the Jets, after all the power rankings had in there, are they no longer a bottom 5 team in the NFL?
They certainly haven't been playing like it lately. Yeah, I mean, you could say Titans are definitively
Titans and
worse.
Raiders are the 2 worst.
Titans and Raiders are definitively worse.
Did you see that story? Chip Kelly was calling plays that weren't in the playbook.
I did not. That's insane.
Yeah, he was calling plays that weren't installed. He would. Yeah, it was bad.
Oh my god, what a mess.
So Geno Smith would get to the line and there'd be 3 guys over there. It's no, I thought we were putting them over here.
Maybe
no wonder they stunk.
Maybe it's not Geno's fault. I don't know.
Tom Brady pushed for Chip Kelly. Remember that.
That's Titans and Raiders definitively worse. Saints are worse. Hard not to say the Browns are worse when the Jets just beat them.
I will say Shador looked like an NFL quarterback in this game.
Yes, I didn't watch much of it, but I think he was okay from what I saw.
Circumstances and opponent and all that, he was okay.
I think I would still say the Jets are the 4th worst team in the NFL, or the 5th worst team in the NFL. I think that
would they beat the Cardinals?
I don't think so. I think Jacoby would tear apart this defense, which is crazy to say, but I think maybe they might beat the Commanders right now.
They would have beat. I know he's healthy now, but we have proof with no Burrow they're better than the Bengals.
Yeah. Yes. I think they might beat the Commanders with Mariota. I think they'd have a shot. I mean, look, they'd have a shot to beat the Giants. They'd have a shot to beat the Cardinals. They'd have a shot.
I have a fun one. The Vikings if 9's playing.
I was just thinking the Vikings. When 9 is playing, they might.
I don't care how good he is for the rest of his career. That video screwed him. He's dead.
The Jets should start Justin Fields in that game to make it even, just to make it fair.
Remember trade for JJ McCarthy to learn behind Rodgers? Remember that?
There were a couple of very specific names that I will not call out on Jets Twitter who were saying that. And that was a crazy take.
Imagine what we'd be like if that was the. Imagine if JJ McCarthy was this bad for the Jets.
Fun little Adonai Mitchell tidbit here from Zach Rosenblatt. Adonai Mitchell told reporters that he found out he was getting traded by the Colts while he was watching game film with Daniel Jones, and they were watching Falcons film. Came full circle today, so he had a touchdown today. So he saw something. He knew that the corner would fall down on that.
I will say, even if the guy didn't fall down, he underthrew it, so he had to go back and track it.
And shout out Mitchell as well for earlier in that game where he drew the defensive pass interference call. I believe it was his debut game where I came on here and others were saying this too, how he had one of those plays in his first game too, and he just gave up on it. It was an underthrown. It wasn't like a deep ball, but it was kind of like a shot to the corner of the end zone and was underthrown, and he did not fight for it. He gave up on the play. As a result, it wasn't defensive pass interference. The Jets coaching staff got on him about that when they were watching film, and you could see it in this game. He changed that, and he fought back for this play and ended up drawing the flag.
I got another quote because I kept talking about Jawan Jennings as a Jets target in free agency, and he got into another fight in this game after Trayvon Merrick punched him right in the gentleman's area on Monday Night Football.
Yeah. And with fair.
Yeah. You get punched in the jewels, you can fight.
Yeah.
But he got into another one, and Myles Garrett goes, "Well, I can't speak for how he was raised, but," I'm like, "Oh,
whoa,
those are big words."
Whoa, that's coming for something.
Going after mom and geez,
Mom and Papa Jennings.
Oh my God! So let's get to some comments. Jeff has points out the Jets have fallen to 6 on Tankathon and will fall to 7 if Washington loses.
Jets fans should just be reserved to the fact that they're going to pick sixth overall because they pick 6th every year. That's what that is the Jets draft pick.
Remember, they were 6 last year, right?
There were 7 last
year. 7 last year. Fashanu was like 10. They had. I think.
Leonard Williams was 6. Darnold originally they were picking 6, but they traded up. Jamal Adams was 6, I believe. They always pick 6. That's just, you could pencil it in before the season.
Falcons, I think, had like Bijan and London at 8 back-to-back, and they're not. They would have been 9 now, but
yeah. So I just expect the Jets to pick 6th. Don't get mad when it happens. It seems inevitable.
J Mark, even being pro tank, this team is tough.
Yeah, I mean they're a bad team. What is I don't know what that means. Oh, like
they play tough.
I meant
not tough to watch. We're used to watch following that.
I use the word tough in that regard usually with the Jets. Where I'm like,
the good tough. Finally,
they are tough. They play physical. You could tell that they are not like they play for this coaching staff. Even if they play a little bit recklessly, sometimes they play for this coaching staff.
Which is in a losing year, that's what you want. Because Lions players, when Dan Campbell was like 0-11-1. Would have died for the guy.
Correct.
So this is what you want.
And these wins, man, they build confidence. I know like wins late in the season don't necessarily carry over momentum wise into next year, like because you have a different team, but they do build confidence and they instill some, winning when you have a young staff and a young roster trying to figure out how to win games. That's when it matters. When the Jets
most of the guys on this team are going to be here next year. Last year, they were getting rid of everybody.
That's the point. When the Jets win games late in the year last year, it doesn't matter because Aaron Rodgers isn't going to be here next year. Devontae Adams isn't going to be here next year. The whole staff is gone. The regime is gone. Those wins do not matter. These wins don't necessarily they're not going to change the trajectory of the Jets organization, most likely, but they do matter. Like they do improve the psyche of the players in that locker room. It helps to win games. And it also, I would say, for a guy like Breece Hall, who's probably, as we know, not particularly happy with the Jets, I think these wins really matter to someone like him.
I think he's happier now.
Yeah.
And he will be happier if he gets paid.
And I think Aaron Glenn is happier. You watch Aaron Glenn on the sidelines of these games, you listen to his pressers, he's in a better mood. He's less snippy with the media. It helps. Winning
I think
helps.
me and Justin both.
Yeah, me and right, you and right guy.
Lefty and righty here. We both, I think, gave Saleh a lot more slack than most Jets guys out there because there were sometimes genuinely with Zach where it's like, what do you want this guy to do? And then Rodgers' Achilles, it's like, genuinely, what do you want this guy to do? But he's a guy I liked seeing win. Like, I feel that more with Aaron Glenn. Like, I really genuinely want to see this guy win a lot because Adam Gase, I didn't care. This guy
Agreed.
I do think some fans too were scarred from Gase's first year where they were terrible, and then they basically won out down the stretch.
Yeah,
and picked 11 again, and got I think Becton after that. Right? Was Gase's
they got Becton, which man they could have had worse. It's not like the draft position matters.
By the way, how's he doing? Not on the Eagles.
Becton, man. I just wrote an article about him this morning. 79th or 80th out of 82 qualified guards. He's a 40.
I didn't know there was such a thing as system offensive guards, but here we are.
I don't know if you saw the latest Becton injury drama. He is once again
blaming the coaches again,
blaming the coaching staff. He was like he's been very frustrated, quote unquote, very frustrated. That's how he put it, with how the Chargers have handled his injuries this year, handled his management, his health management, whatever he called it.
They're frustrated. He keeps billing all those donuts on the company credit card
because he's started 9 games. He's started 9 games for him, but he's been consistently missing plays and missing drives because the Chargers take him out because he's been banged up a bunch. And he's basically out here saying, I don't know why they're taking me out. And the
Because
Chargers,
you stink and B, you're hurt.
and the Chargers are like, he's injured. Like that's
Yeah.
what's happening here. But he did a whole exclusive interview with ESPN, very similar to what he did with the Jets when he did that interview with Newsday.
Left tackle.
Yeah, he did that interview with Newsday back with the Jets in 2023, where he kind of shit all over the team while he was still a member of the team. He just did that now with ESPN and kind of was like, man, I don't know what the Chargers are doing. He said they do things differently here. Okay, man, maybe if you have a problem with two different coaching staffs and how they're handling your injuries, it might be you.
It'd be one thing if you went to the Jets and then he went to like the Titans and they were screwing around with him. But the Chargers are a good, I know that there's a lot of injuries with the Chargers, but like that's a good coaching staff.
Yeah, I agree.
Things start moving. Same old Jets playing with pride when it no longer matters. Oh, get out of here.
It does matter.
Be happy, man.
It does matter. Last year it didn't matter. It does matter a little now. I'm just, you can't catch me being mad about wins like this when
everybody's pro tank till they win.
Yes. And again, like what in this draft class, specifically in this draft class, what do you gain? Like legitimately, Fernando Mendoza right now, that's the prize, right? And Mendoza is far from this can't miss perfect quarterback prospect by any means.
He's still I think he's better than any of the top guys from last year.
And I think a lot of people are going to not even going to agree with that. I don't have my takes on it yet, but I think a lot of people like that's not a consensus opinion by any means that Mendoza is better than any of the guys last year. Like so just for that, for starters. And then Ty Simpson has struggled lately. Again, we don't know if Dante Moore is going to be in the class. It's just not an amazing quarterback class. And you're just, I don't know, man. I don't think like the Jets weren't going to get the top pick. First of all, even if they lose this game, they're not getting the number one overall pick. The Titans are going to get that pick. I feel very certain saying that. It's just, you can't catch me being mad about late season wins in a year like this.
Herbert's back in, by the way. So
yeah, I saw you returned.
Brian Sternbeck, I don't think Mitchell was given good ball placement on any of his. Well, he had more than 5 catches on any of his catches today. No.
Yeah, he had a couple of really nice adjustments. Which
the catch radius was what I really liked about him in college.
Which again, look at Texas. His last year at Texas, he had 1 drop. It's not like drops were this huge problem with him coming out of college. So I'm not shocked by that.
And the big catch radius thing isn't like a N'Keal Harry thing where he's just learned to make these big catches because he can't get open.
No.
This is just he has a wide catch radius. He can leap, he can stretch.
He body catches. Like that's the biggest like concern for me with the catching stuff, which makes him struggle in contested catch situations sometimes. And he has at the NFL level. Like that deep ball, I thought he made a really nice adjustment on it, but if there's a guy, obviously it was underthrown and stuff, but he's catching that with his body. He kind of had to. Like that's not the best example of this, but that would be like the one thing I would point to. But like, yeah, he made some really nice catches in this game, and I don't think his hands are like a significant issue.
When Garrett comes back, his ADOT is going to be crazy. They have him just on go balls so often.
Yeah, but he had a lot of underneath stuff today. But when Wilson's back, I imagine he'll be taken. I don't know if Wilson's back this year though. Like I hesitate to say that Garrett Wilson will play another game for the Jets this year, just because
they had a better record. He would.
Yeah, well, yeah, but why risk it?
Why risk it?
He's been hurt multiple times with that same knee injury. I don't want to take anything. I don't want to jeopardize anything that could affect him in 2026.
Brian Sternbeck, the Colts have lost 3 of their last 4. The only win required them to go to overtime to defeat the team the Jets just beat. So that Colts pick.
Absolutely, dude. I'm looking at that Colts because you got Daniel Jones. He's playing with a broken fibula.
A broken leg.
Which is crazy, right? He's playing with a broken leg, which
Sauce is hurt now.
And you've seen I don't know how he did today, but going into today's game, he had 4 touchdowns and 4 picks in his last 3 games and 6 fumbles in his last 3 games.
He threw 2 touchdowns and no picks, but he barely completed over half his passes. So
yeah, against a good defense.
Houston might have the best defense in the league.
Texas defense is awesome. So take that.
I would say the Rams lost to the Panthers though, man.
They did. I don't know if any team is good, man. The Rams are the best in the NFL.
No team. It's got to be freaking Bo Nix, Drake May AFC Championship game, and I'm gonna lose it.
And then the winner will play Caleb Williams and the Bears.
Caleb's at least fun,
Right, but the Bears is the best team in the NFC.
They get a ton of turnovers. Caleb's kind of cool, and he's getting better. Bo Nix, I can at least justify it as like they have this. It's like 2015 where they have this crazy all-time good defense. Like, all right, fine. Yeah. Drake May would kill in year 2 would kill me. J Mark 19. Are you both pro tank or still cheering for the W? I'm cheering for the W.
Cheer for the W.
When is being pro tank ever help the Jets?
Look, here we're in a win-win situation here because if Folk missed that field goal and the Jets lost in overtime, I would have been like, hey, not mad about it. Not mad about it. Doesn't really impact. Look, they got a better draft pick out of it. I'm not going to be upset about it, but I'm also not upset about a win here. I really not.
Some people, like we were saying in the midday show, Glenn's in a little bit of a lose-lose situation because, like, if he wins, it's like, oh, you're ruining the tank, and then if he loses, it's like, oh, he sucks, he can't win. Like, it's tough. J Mark, I don't watch college football, but I've heard about Arch being good lately. Will he go high in the first round if he do? I don't think so, but
I think he would, but I don't think he's going to declare. But
I don't think he declares. I think he'd probably, if he came out right now, I think he'd still probably be QB4. Like, I'd have him over Sellers, but I don't think he'd be a lock for the first.
I think if Arch is in this class, he's a top 10 pick. I just think the potential would be more like
I don't like how he changed his mechanics and he.
I'm not saying that I would feel that way. I'm just saying I think that if he was in this class, I think he's a top 10 pick. You could say it's because of the name. You could say because of the pedigree. I think teams would take a chance.
Shedeur was going to go high because of pedigree, and
because we're looking at Arch right now and saying, yeah, he's probably like if he goes back to school, the entire summer conversation is going to be that him and Julian saying are QB1 and QB2 in that class, like QB1A, QB1B.
And then probably CJ
Carr maybe in that mix if he comes out. Like, and then whoever, like if Dante Moore go back to school.
Or Simpson goes back because he only has the 1 year.
Or Simpson goes back, but there's going to be so much conversation about Manning. Like, I think teams are just going to be like, well, if we think he could be the guy next year, we'll just take him this year if he's in this draft. So I don't think he's going to be in the draft, but I think if he were to be in this class, I think he's a top 10 pick and absolutely in play for the Jets.
Vikings are getting shut out, by the way, so we may get more.
Rosmer just threw a pick six and 80.
I mean, but undrafted. I just don't want people to go, oh, maybe it's not JJ McCarthy's fault. That's what
if the bar is an undrafted rookie who's only there because he's a Minnesota guy, right? Isn't he from Minnesota?
On the road, well, I will say he was good last year, but on the road in Seattle, start one is
that's brutal. That's brutal.
Brian Sternbeck says, I just realized Mitchell had 60% of Tyrod's passing output today.
Yeah, I don't think anyone on the team had more than two
Taylor
catches.
had 2 catches on the first drive, and then
I think Bijan, or I think what's his name? Mechie had 4. Mechie had 4 for 19, but no one else had more than 2.
Why do they like some games they'll go into targeting Mason Taylor a lot and then they just go away from it?
I think they should get Mason Taylor involved more. That would be one of my little critiques with this offense. I'd like to see Mason Taylor get involved in the passing game more.
Brian, again, the Falcons had 120 more offensive yards than the team that walked them off the field.
Yep. Yeah, they outgained the Jets pretty much from the start of the game. Like they were consistently moving the ball in that first half, and they came away with 7 points. That's a failure.
Brian Glick, the FBI is investigating the Jets. They want details on how they are employing Jelani Woods for their own witness. It might be time to give up on that, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, look,
he hasn't played in like 2 years.
Would I rather see Jelani Woods out there than Allen Lazard? Yeah.
Hey, Lazard had a clutch catch.
He did, dude. I swear to you, I said this to you in our Slack channel, Mike. I was watching the game with my dad, and out loud before the ball was snapped, it was a 3rd and 9 play, and I said out loud, I'm like, "What's Allen Lazard doing on the field? What is Allen Lazard going to do on a 3rd and 9?" 2 seconds later,
making some big balls plays is what he's doing.
Later, tipped pass right into his hands, and he makes a really nice grab. I'm like, all right, man, maybe I just shouldn't talk.
J Mark, the clock management by AG is really good this game. He's improved very much since the beginning of the season. Turns out it doesn't take a month to fully turn around the New York Jets.
Also, very nice challenge, by the way. That's not going to get talked about or overlooked. That was a spot of the ball, a spot play challenge.
On that Brees run?
That ended up in a first down. Those are very rarely overturned. Spot play runs or challenges are very rarely successful. But that one was, and it got the Jets a first down.
Brian Sternbeck, Titans fans deserve the number 1 pick after all they've suffered through of late. I'm watching Cam Ward, man. I'm like, there is definitely something there.
Number 1 overall pick with a quarterback that you still like that is best case scenario.
I think he's a guy. They're just that is just a meat grinder that they're.
Who do you think they go right now? Do you think they go Bain or do you think they go Reese?
I think they go Reese.
I think Reese's ceiling is higher.
I do think because they have all their picks. I think though I'm looking at the top teams right now. The Giants would definitely the Giants might stay. I think the Saints would definitely trade down.
Maybe. Well, we don't know. It's still early for
I think the Raiders would trade down. No, the Raiders might take a quarterback.
I think they give Shuck another year, but it's still too early.
He looked pretty good in the second.
I agree, but it's still November. We don't know.
Brian Sternbeck again. Brees Hall's on pace for 1,181 rushing yards this year, so I could take it for granted, kind of, that he'll be the first 1,000-yard rusher the Jets have had in a decade.
You would hope. I mean, he should have had it 2 years ago when he had 997.
997 or something.
Because of a clerical error where the Jets thought he had 1,000 and took him out, and then actually, whoopsie, he didn't. He should have had it.
The old Dave Hampton. You ever hear that story?
Yes, I think we talked about this on the show.
Oh, we did? Oh, yeah.
Yes. That is embarrassing, though, by the way, that the Jets have not had a 1,000-yard rusher in a decade. Chris Ivory, I imagine, was the last one. Must have been.
That sounds like it. Let me see.
About 2015 was probably the last time they had one.
1,070 yards and 7 touchdowns.
2015?
Yep. And then he went to the Jaguars, and both parties were worse for it.
Yep. It's like Sean Green with the Titans.
Exactly like Sean Green. Sean Green, I think, just got carried by that awesome Nick Mangold O-line. And then
he did.
He was like, 240, big fat running back.
Yes. Not even big. Like, he was like, 5'9", 5'10"?
5'9", 5'10", 240.
Yeah,
like what's the dude Alejandro Kirk for the Blue Jays? Like big
just a little Pudge, like Pudge Rodriguez. Ivan Rodriguez.
Pudge Rodriguez was at least like a little more muscular though.
Yeah, it's fair.
Then again, he was totally juicing, and he's in the Hall of Fame. Yeah. But how'd you gain 20 more pounds in an offseason? Well, I ate more salad and went on walks with my wife. Yeah, okay, that's what he said.
I injected salad into my veins.
Yeah, salad is apparently a PED now.
Yeah.
Brian Sternbeck again. I feel like we're still watching a bad run blocking O-line on the Jets for the 6th year in a row. I don't have the numbers to back it up, but I feel like Brees had 3/4 of his yards after contact.
I think this game was not a good run blocking game, but also against a very good front. Like, this is a very good front.
Jalen Walker's good. Pierce looks good. I don't know if he's traded top 10 pick good, but he looks good.
No, but he's very good. He had that big sack, late in the game. That could have won him the game if Atlanta's offense could do literally anything. I think the run blocking has been fairly good for a lot of this year. I don't think it's been a major issue for them.
Membu, I think, maybe had his worst game, but
Membu was fine for 3 quarters and then had a really bad 4th quarter. The false
he got beat on a sack.
The sack allowed, the 2 false starts. It was a bad 4th quarter, but
you're allowed 1 bad quarter, I think, is
right.
Brian Glick, Jets special teams coming up big again. Loved seeing that.
Yep, their special team. They have the best special teams in football, and that's not a debate. Like, that's literally not. That's just a factual statement. I want to see.
If I'm looking ahead at the Jets schedule, they have 5 games left.
Yeah.
Miami at home, Jacksonville on the road, New Orleans on the road, New England at home, Buffalo on the road. Mm-hmm. How many wins they get?
And how many go to the games? Would you say those
5.
again? 5 games. I think they have a good chance to win 2 of those. I think New Orleans.
The Dolphins getting crazy hot too at the end.
I think they beat New Orleans, like, for sure. I feel fairly confident saying that they beat the Saints. They could beat Miami. They totally could. They could beat Jacksonville.
Jacksonville's just so chaotic.
How shitty would it be if the Jets beat the Jaguars, not only hurting their draft position, but allowing the Colts to win the division and hurting their other draft position? That would be really unfortunate.
I want the Jets. They're not going to beat, I don't think, unless the Bills are like in the playoffs.
Yeah.
And then they just play Mitch Trubisky. Like, I want them to win the divisional games remaining, but I think, and again, I'm not like team tank. Mm-hmm. I think I'm on team. It would behoove you to lose those 2 games particularly.
I would love to beat the Bills, but yeah, Jacksonville feels like a game where I want them to lose, like that.
And the Saints,
the Saints one, yeah, for sure. But I just don't think they will. But yes,
I really do honestly, and this is crazy. Like, there may be no reason to draft a quarterback on day 2. If the Saints take one at 40, he plays all right, and then they give up on him anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Like, J.J. McCarthy is going to get another year because of draft status. Tyler Shuck's been better than J.J. McCarthy.
Yeah. It's not a guarantee that McCarthy gets another year, but man, it's real tough to move on from him after 1 year.
They got to get I think he starts week 1, 2026, but they got to get
they have to bring somebody in.
They got to get somebody big in.
Not Carson Wentz. Like, somebody that's an actual viable.
I think Kyler might be.
They could go Kyler.
That might be where he goes.
May we interest you in a Justin Fields?
How about that QB competition in camp between Justin Fields? Who's better, Justin Fields or JJ McCarthy?
Justin Fields. Justin Fields is better. We've seen Justin Fields have higher highs, even with the Jets. Like,
think about that.
Justin Fields. By the way, some preliminary PFF.
That wasn't Fields who threw those picks. That was 7. 7 did that.
That's right. Preliminary PFF grades from this. Brees Hall, highest graded player right now in the game for either team for the Jets on either side of the ball.
Really? That's surprising.
Tyrod
didn't have like any big breakaway plays.
Yeah, 80.3 run game. Or he just, like, as Brian was saying, I think he was just creating a lot of yards for himself. Like, the run blocking was not good in this game. Tyrod had a really good grade, was their second highest graded player. Third highest graded, Joe Tippmann.
That was his best game as a Jet, Tyrod.
I agree, 100%. This was a very good Tyrod game. Joe Tippmann, 89.3 pass block grade as of right now.
Hey, who are some of the lowlights?
John Mechie, obviously. Defense, Isaiah Oliver, Marcelino McCrary Ball. They nailed Azaria Thomas, which fair. He had the DPI.
Azarias, I feel like he's going to be one of those guys where he's just PFF's never going to like him because he's kind of handsy. But if you like watch the tape, he's probably a little better.
Yeah, agreed. Josh Myers, brutal. The run blocking grades are bad, as you'd expect. Brutal game. He had a good pass block game, but 42.9 run block grade. They also got him for a penalty, which I believe was the false start on everybody but the center. I think they credited Myers with that penalty, which Simpson didn't move either.
Literally, it was the only guy that didn't false start.
Simpson didn't move. That's what confused me. I don't think Simpson moved, unless I'm wrong. I might be wrong, but
everyone but the center's funnier than 3 of the 5 linemen.
It is.
How many snaps did Isaiah Davis have?
Let's see. He had.
I really thought there'd be more like a 2-back thing with him. They just gave up on it.
That's a great shout by Brian. I didn't realize it was this much of a discrepancy. Breece Hall, 58 snaps. Isaiah Davis, 8 snaps. That is the craziest disparity that we've seen with the Jets' backfield rotation all year.
I'm not mad at it. About that.
That, by the way, that really strongly indicates to me they want to bring Breece back. Like,
yes,
they're not doing that unless they really want to bring Breece
that was number one. I think they're saying, all right, Breece, for the rest of the year, you're the main offensive guy.
Yeah,
try to get you back. Number 2, I don't know if this evaluation is correct or not. This coaching staff, I think, definitely feels Braylon Allen is better than Isaiah Davis considerably.
I don't know about that. I don't know
because they were giving Braylon Allen chances.
I think Davis is going to be ahead of Allen in the pecking order next year. That would be my that would be my take as of right.
They don't play him now.
I think if they tag Breece, which is what my expected outcome is, I think they're going to give him a ton of carries next year and a ton of touches, and then kind of lean on Davis as more of the third down guy, which not like a solidified third down guy, because as we're seeing here, like Breece Hall played 14 pass block snaps. Isaiah Davis only had 4. So it's not like they were just using Davis as the pass block guy in this game. They were.
Wouldn't Allen be the better pass blocker too because he's bigger?
He should be, but he hasn't been in his career. He definitely has not been at this point. I think Allen is a raw running back prospect, which is a weird thing to say, but he is. Like, he's just not really good at the things
he doesn't run like he looks like he should.
He doesn't. He does not run as powerful as he probably should for a guy who's 6'1", 235.
But like, he's quicker and more elusive than he should be.
He's way more physically gifted than Isaiah Davis, but he's not nearly as good of a pass blocker, not nearly as good of a pass catcher, and I think his vision is a lot worse.
They need to like brain swap him and
if you put Davis. If you combine the two, I think you have an awesome running back. I think they trust Davis more than they trust Allen.
Well, I think too, Davis, I don't think sometimes is that big to be running like Braylon, Chris.
I didn't realize this, Mike. Major development. Stone Smart played 2 offensive snaps in this game.
Whoa. The guy who ended Abdul Carter's career.
When did that happen? I missed that. I totally didn't see that happen. He was out there for a pass play and a run block play. Watch it be
Mark, what do you think of McCrary Ball? He's fine. I don't think he comes back next year.
He was a special teams captain. I think there's a chance he's
as part of the defensive.
No, he shouldn't be your third linebacker. But I think as a special teams guy, he's good. Yeah, that's fine.
Brian Glick, I hate they take Breece off the field for third down. Doesn't make any sense.
They didn't do it as much in this game, and I'm very happy that they didn't, because he should be out there as much as possible.
Mustard Overlord. I'm still an AZ Thomas doubter because of the lack of deep speed. I feel like him and Stevens both have number 2 corner ceilings.
I think that's fair. I think that's I don't think either of them is going to be a number 1 corner in the NFL. I think that's a valid take. I'm still waiting on AZ Thomas. I think he could play at the NFL level. I think he should be a starter next year, but I'm not like convinced that he's going to get a second contract with the Jets. We'll just have to see how much that lack of deep speed hurts him, because it does hurt him. You see it every single game where it does hurt him.
I feel like safety convert is coming eventually.
It might. He needs to get better in coverage for the lack of deep speed to not affect him as much. And like I've been saying for weeks, if the Jets get a rangy safety back there, it'll make life a lot easier for Stevens and Thomas.
You know how we used to make fun of the Packers for being like that old Hawks team where They didn't have a star. They just had like 5 okay. Like
Oh, the
the
Atlanta
Packers
Falcons?
receiver room had 5 number 2 wide receivers.
Yeah.
That's the Jets cornerback room. They got a bunch of like number 2 Brownlee, Stevens, Malachi Moore, maybe. It's like a bunch of good to okay guys. And then they had a star. They got rid of him.
I don't think they target a corner this year, but after like 2027, I know we're talking very far in the future. 2027, I could see that being a year where, if they give these 3 a year to start, if it's kind of what we're seeing this year, I think cornerback becomes a potential position to target, because then you can get out of the Stevens contract if you want to. It's not like you're investing a ton in Azaria Thomas, right? At that point, if you've given him a year and a half as a starter and you don't love it, you could definitely draft the corner at some point.
Okay, I'm gonna be honest.
Sure.
I'm gonna put a coworker on blast because I got a notification.
Oh no.
And our Chargers guy, I actually wrote about Jasir Taylor messing up for that. He said Herbert threw a pick, and he goes, maybe it should be Trey Lance time.
Jason,
how dare you?
I hate it. I hate fans. I hate fans of good teams, and more importantly, good quarterbacks not appreciating what they have.
Oh my God, Eagles fans this year. Oh my God,
booing the team for being down 7.
They're booing the team when they're winning because they're not winning by as much as they should be.
Insane. I actually talked to a couple of Eagles fans.
Although I do think they have, I think the most halves this year without a touchdown.
No, there's valid issues with the team. And Kevin Patullo.
Sorry, the Titans have the most. They're number 2.
There's some issues with Kevin Patullo and the offensive staff. Sure. And they've had some injuries on the offensive line, whatever, right? I've never seen a more miserable fan base for
they might be the 1 seed.
Right, a team coming off a Super Bowl win who is 8-4. That's ridiculous. Like it's so stupid. It makes.
I think the party line here has been Sirianni has been carried by the coordinators because Shane Steichen, he was great, and then Brian Johnson was terrible and he stunk, and then Kellen Moore was great, and then Patullo I mean possibly, but
also you just won a Super Bowl.
Yeah, you just won a Super Bowl.
You just won a Super Bowl where
isn't it funny too that the Jets in 2023, when we were talking about is Austrian Jet fan gifting 10 memberships, including Mr. Jake Aspin. Now
shout out Austrian Jet fan. Thank you so much.
Shout out Austrian Jet fan as always.
So much. He's funding the show at this point.
You are the man. The Jets 2023 offensive coordinator search. The final 3 guys were Nate Hackett, Kevin Patullo, and Nick Caley for the Texans.
And 2 of those, or all 3 of those, man, brutal.
I think Caley's the best.
Caley's the best. No, I
don't know, but it's not even
Caley's been a bit better lately. Like the Texans' offense has looked a lot more watchable lately. Weirdly,
I think probably CJ Stroud went in and yelled at him and said, "All right, run this."
Mills, they were pretty watchable with Mills. I thought Mills was doing okay. And then
the Jets almost were looking at Bobby Slowick as a head coach. That was fun.
Yeah, they brought him in for an interview, I believe, right?
Patullo does suck, though. Yes, but
agreed.
Look, I'm trying to limit this sometimes in the work Slack because I'll see people complain about their teams and I'm like, "Oh, you Jets!" Like I get that you're allowed to be upset about your team not being good, but look at what I've gone through.
It's first world problems,
and then look at what you're saying.
It's first world problems.
That's all Jets dub baby from Austria.
Hell yeah!
Hell yes! 3-9. Mustard Overlord again. The only outside cornerbacks as slow as Thomas are really good ball-hawking zone corners like Rasul Douglas. Thomas is a handsy man coverage guy.
I think that's valid.
Oddly enough, I feel like Thomas could be okay in zone because he's so long and Sauce was great in zone because he's so long and so rangy.
I agree.
Sauce wasn't blazing fast.
And they're not locked into Steve Wilkes as being the defensive guy, although I do think he'll be back next year.
And I think Glenn wants to play bump and run man anyway.
Yeah. So. I think your AZ Thomas concerns are valid. I'm not sold on him necessarily being the guy. I just think that he's an NFL caliber player who we will have to see how much that lack of deep speed really does impact his game, which it is impacting it right now. Part of it is still because he's a rookie and he's still caught out of position sometimes and he gets a little handsy. And if he's out of position, it's hard for him to recover because he doesn't have the speed to recover. But we'll see. I'm happy to give him a year as a starter next year. Maybe you even bring in another corner as depth, right? If you don't love Stiggers as your corner 4 and maybe you just want him as your gunner, right? Maybe you could do something like that too. But I like Thomas enough to give him a year as a starter to see how much this impacts his game.
Stevens, Thomas, Brownlee, you could roll with that. And
Stevens, by the way, their highest graded defensive player today, or at least preliminarily wise.
No Drake London help, but yes.
What? Yeah, I know. What? Darnell Mooney's not bad. 1 catch allowed for 4 yards. That's it on 3 targets for Brandon Stevens.
If Sauce did that, they would have been freaking out. Shout out Quantez Stiggers, says Austin.
Yeah, the recovery. The Jet special team is awesome.
He's replaced your guy JBC because wasn't JBC a punt gunner too?
No, that was his problem. He didn't really play special.
Oh, dude, I'm getting guys mixed up.
He was the Bryce Hall special. He was a really good cover corner, or not the Bryce Hall's this elite cover corner.
Is he still in the league?
He's in the Bucks practice squad. He got hurt last year.
Incorrect. He is on the Giants active roster.
Bryce Hall?
No, Jark Bernard.
It's even Bryce Hall. I was saying Bryce Hall's in the Bucks practice squad. Yeah, no, Bernard Converse got signed by he was waived twice this year, JBC, and he got claimed by the Giants, and now he's with the Giants. But Bryce Hall
Overlord again.
Okay, I was just waiting really quick. Bryce Hall started last year, I believe, for the Bucks. Started week 1 for them, or at least played significant defensive snaps, and then had another devastating ankle injury, just like he did in college.
Poor guy.
Missed the whole year, re-signed with them, and has been on their practice squad all year.
Speaking of corners, that PBU by Stevens was the worst looking good play I've ever seen.
Dude, it was so funny because he totally misread it. He like, and I love the announcers were like, "Great job staying composed," and I'm like, that man,
he was like, he didn't know what it was panicking.
Doing. He freaked out. He was like, "Oh my God," he's getting all jumpy, but he jumped twice and did enough to not he didn't make contact with the receiver despite his jumping, and did enough to distract the receiver enough to be in position. But it was a very hilarious PBU because he totally misread it. But what is it? What did it say? Failed successfully, right? It's a
task failed successfully.
Yeah.
And Zachary Burner, keep wanting to annoy the tank people. LOL, let's go Jets.
Yeah. And there's a time and a place for pro tank discourse. Last year, I was all aboard the tank engine. Like I was Thomas the Tank Engine. Sorry.
Oh, for Christ's sake.
I was so bad. I couldn't even finish it. I'm so sorry. I was leader of the tank command last year when it made sense, but I don't think necessarily I'm not going to judge people if you're rooting for the tank right now.
Jets are averaging more points this year than last year now, by the way. So
Aaron Rodgers, right?
Well, I mean,
we should have brought back Rodgers.
Kenny Nwangwu too, but
I know.
Aaron Rodgers is also beating the Bills right now, and they're getting shut out. So
what's the score?
7-0.
Oh well, okay, all right.
Josh Allen is 4 of 9 with a pick.
Dude, there's a legit, a real possibility that the Bills, Chiefs, Lions, and maybe Ravens all miss playoffs. That is possible.
This is going to be the AFC is a travesty.
Who's winning the Super Bowl, right, Mike? It's November 30th. Who's winning?
It's going to be it's going to be Drake May or Bo Nix.
It's not going to be Bo Nix. Shut up.
Why wouldn't it be at this point?
I don't think you understand how mad I'll be if Bo Nix wins the Super Bowl. It will do
Trent Dilfer.
Mike, it will do irreparable damage to NFL discourse if Bo Nix wins the Super Bowl this year.
Nick Foles won one and it didn't. So
Foles was fun. And you didn't have people for years saying, right now, Broncos fans think Bo Nix is an MVP candidate. That's the discourse. That's the conversation that they're having. And it will do unbelievable damage to the sport. I know I'm being dramatic. I don't care. I will be livid if the Broncos win a Super Bowl. I would rather have the Patriots.
I will say, to give him some credit, no. Denver's skill positions are pretty terrible right now.
Hey, Courtland Sutton's good.
Yeah, Courtland Sutton can't be your one guy on a Super Bowl team.
I kind of Pat Bryant's been all right this year. Troy Franklin's okay.
Troy Franklin is not good at all.
He's been okay this year. He was bad it was looking scary last year, but I think he's been all right this year.
I think he's just a volume.
Marvin Mims isn't good. He's not good.
How's Pat Bryant doing? Pat Bryant has 15 catches.
Yeah, he's been okay. It was a fourth round pick.
Look, I don't like Bo Nix either. You don't need to preach the gospel.
They have the best
Pat Bryant.
They have an elite defense and a really good coaching staff that masks his flaws and a pretty good offensive line as well.
I mean, you don't have to. It's not just the quarterback bowl. It's it's a team thing, But
the discourse is that it's a quarterback bowl, Mike. If the Broncos win a Super Bowl, no one will care about Pat Surtain winning a Super Bowl. They'll be like, "Oh, Bo Nix led his team to a Super Bowl." Oh, that's gonna be the fucking conversation.
I guess it'll be. He's better than He's better than Dilfer, where they just.
But Dilfer was long ago, too long ago. The average NFL, young NFL fan doesn't know who Trent Dilfer is.
So I guess Brad Johnson would be the.
That's still too long ago. People don't.
Brad Johnson was. Well, he was through for 30,000 yards.
People don't remember Brad Johnson. You ask the average kid under 25 years old. You ask the average person under 25 years old, they probably don't know who Brad Johnson is. They don't know who Trent Dilfer is. If Bo Nix wins the Super Bowl, people are going to be talking out of their ass about how they're putting him in these conversations. I don't want to blow up his spot, but I had a conversation with a recent, with a Jets content creator recently who said that Jalen Hurts is the top 5 quarterback. And that is a direct product of Super Bowl discourse. That's what that is.
I'm trying to find the worst quarterback who won a Super Bowl like since Brad Johnson. And I mean, washed Peyton, but that was,
Wash Peyton. No, the answer is Wash Peyton.
Well, but again, that was Peyton Manning too.
I know, but it was still like he was bad. He was very bad.
Then Foles, and then probably Flacco.
Flacco or Hurts? Who was a better quarterback that year? Flacco was good that year.
I think Hurts was probably better.
It's not that Hurts wasn't good either. By the way, Hurts was good. Like it's not like Hurts sucks.
I think it was Flacco. Because remember the whole Joe Flacco elite? It's that came from that. So
I know, but I feel like the same conversations are being had about Jalen Hurts.
Jalen Hurts, at least, like you got to count those rushing touchdowns. So
yeah, but you count
that. They count. Like if he was on the Jets, we'd be counting them. Like you can't,
you count them, but also how much of that is him just being good, and how much of that is the situation around him, like the tush push.
Slow
right?
runners to Jim Plunkett. I guess that might be the comparison.
Oh, Jim. Well, yeah, but that was also
that was the '80s too.
That was before Dilfer and Johnson.
Yeah, I believe I think he's the only guy to win multiple Super Bowls and not be in the Hall of Fame.
Jim Plunkett, probably.
Yeah,
he won two with the Raiders.
Yeah, he was also like a notorious mega bust, and then he went to the Raiders and figured it out. But
yeah, I don't want Bo Nix to win the Super Bowl. If I'm picking right now, I'm probably
if are you going to root for him if it's them versus him versus Drake May?
No comment.
Oh wow, that's I
know my answer, and I don't think it would go over well on a Jets podcast.
I don't like that answer. So before Justin ruins our credibility, I think we're kind of.
You know what it is? I just if Patriots fans want to talk crazy about Drake May, go for it, man. He's awesome. He's so good.
At least Drake May's really cool to watch.
You want to start saying he's a top 5 quarterback? I don't think he is, but I'm not going to be like you're wrong, because he probably will be in like 2 years, if not next year. Like he's awesome. Bo Nix does not deserve that discourse, and it makes me mad because I hear Broncos fans, and we interact with some of them. Mike, you know who I'm talking about. We interact with these people, and they're very, very high on Bo Nix, and I can't.
Jeff Hostetler was the other one. Yeah, the Raiders paid him a bunch of money after that.
That was like that was a Foles situation, the Hostetler.
Yeah. The Raiders paid him like a starter. I guess the Jaguars paid Foles like a starter after that.
Right.
Too. Let's end it with Zachary Berner. Who's the non-quarterback you're drafting right now? Because honestly, people go, "Oh, we're going to miss the quarterbacks." If we're at 6, there's a good chance that Bain and Arvell Reese both aren't there.
It's one of 3 players for me. It's either Bain or Reese if they're available. If neither are available, it's Jordan Tyson or you could sell me on Carnell Tate. 100%. You could sell me on Carnell Tate top 10. I would not be opposed.
I don't know if I go there yet.
I would not be opposed. He's so good. Dude, just draft Ohio State wide receivers. You know he's going to be good. You know he's going to be a really good player.
Yeah, because really the pass rushers, this is a deep draft, but after Bain and Reese,
it drops off. Who's the third best?
Like Keldrick Falk.
Even
then, I don't think he's kind of an in-betweeny guy.
Is Falk a top 15 pick? I don't know.
I think he is. Yeah,
maybe. He's a big guy. He's big. He's a big, like he kind of fits.
David Bailey. He's more like a Will McDonald, though.
Yeah, I'm not using a top pick on David Bailey.
I mean, I think he'll go in the first round.
Oh yeah, for sure. I'm just saying like a top, like we're talking about the first.
Oh no, I got it. Caleb Downs.
But look, Mike, I love Caleb Downs, and it's such a good fit.
But like, if you have the quarterback, and if you're at 6,
but if you're the who?
Like assuming if the Jets are picking like 6 or 7, and they have,
if the Jets,
they said, all right, we're punting on the class, and then next year we're doing it.
But here's the problem, Mike. You don't have. I'm not saying I'd love.
They need a safety.
In the moment, I'd be like, hell yeah, this is awesome. They got a great player. But the optics of passing on a quarterback to draft a safety 6th overall when they just drafted a safety 6th overall in Jamal Adams years ago. And by the way, in a draft where they also passed on Patrick Mahomes, on Deshaun Watson, obviously there's a lot of stuff baggage there, but it looked bad for a couple of years. They passed on some quarterbacks there to draft the safety. If they pass on some quarterbacks here to draft the safety, oh man.
Well, think about this. In this scenario, not only do they get a quarterback that like a real starting quarterback for a year, but they still have oodles of cap space. Let's say they go nuts and bring in 2 edge rushers. They can do that if they wanted to. Then you don't need that.
If they get Kyler, you could sell me more on Caleb Downs. If the quarterback is Marcus Mariota, man, Man, that's tough. That's
I
tough. I'm not saying
there's
I'd
like
be
a
upset.
there's like such a small chance he's just like bad though. Like you're
I
getting a guy.
know he's gonna be awesome. He's gonna be so good, and he really does. Like it's exactly what the defense needs. But as Mustard Overlord, by the way, saying, think about all the fans who are mad about us picking Membu. Look at it. This year's O-line class. Not a good O-line class. This
No, it
is
is
not
not.
the year to need an offensive lineman. I don't know if
I think Spencer Fano goes top 10. I don't think
probably
anyone else
that's it.
does.
Francis Mauinoa, brother of Kiko.
I don't know if he's a guard or not. There's
I
something
think he's a
there.
guard. I think he's probably a guard.
I think it'll be a Will Campbell thing where people will try to do that, but they leave him a tackle anyway.
Fano, you're drafting a lot of upside there, but he's still like very rough around.
And he's
the
a right
edges.
tackle too.
And he's a right tackle, and he's very rough around the edges. I don't even know what other tackles are going top in this class. It's
Caleb Lomu, who's the other Utah guy,
right.
the left tackle.
Caden Proctor, I don't think is going high at this point.
I think he's still he's a great athlete. So,
but he's also another guy who a lot of people see as a guard. I don't know if he's a tackle.
Those four after that, though, I don't know.
I have no clue.
Jennings Dunker, I don't know.
He's probably a guard as well. Jennings Dunker.
Yeah,
like they're all guards. None of them.
I'll just at least look at the consensus big board.
I think Dunker is, or Austin Sarafeld from
Isaiah World. He's not a first round pick.
From Ohio State, Austin Sarafeld, also probably a guard.
I think I don't think he's like a day 2 even.
Oh, he's been mocked.
PFF loves him, but like they're the only one.
He's been mocked in the first round a lot. He's being mocked in the first round a lot. I think he's a first round. Might be.
Has he? Maybe the consensus database has him. PFF had him there November 5th.
What's the consensus board say for who are the other tackles? Either way, the Jets aren't.
Proctor Lomu, Isaiah World, Caleb Tiernan. I've actually
Isaiah World's probably a tackle. He's probably a tackle.
Even Fano is inflated because of position scarcity. Yeah, this is
agreed.
I mean, to be fair, the thought with the Jets was not punt on OT. It was wait until the second round. That would have probably got you Tyler Warren and Ariante Urzuri, which Tyler Warren's great. I think Membu and Mason Taylor.
Correct. 100%. Especially.
Can we talk about why Josh Myers is still snapping low?
Dude, I've been saying that. I don't know if I said this on this podcast. I said it somewhere. If this was Joe Tippmann, fans would be killing him. Myers has had more bad snaps over the last 3 weeks than Tippmann had all last year. And people we're all like, oh, Tippmann has all these snapping problems and stuff. This is why he can't play center. I think Joe Tippmann can still be your center. I think he's been great at right guard. I don't think he's been bad at center. I think he's good at both. I'm not saying you definitely move him back, but I don't think people are like, yeah, you have to keep him at right guard because he couldn't play center.
We got a real Galaxy brain idea here from a Facebook commenter. Would you put Sherwood back at safety? Quincy a bit of linebacker.
Oh.
Sherwood can't cover at linebacker. You want him to cover at safety?
You're also paying him $15 million a year.
$15 million converted linebacker. Oh. Has anybody ever done that? Gone from linebacker to safety?
I don't know. That's a great question. Not when
obviously there's a ton of the other way.
Like Mark Barron comes to mind, but that was the other way.
That was the other way.
Isaiah Simmons, the other way around. A bunch. Yeah, I don't think so.
I don't think Isaiah Simmons was ever anything.
Well, he was drafted technically as like a safety. That's what he was called, I believe, when they drafted him.
Slow runner. Jets need to sign Linderbaum. I don't think he shakes free, but if he
makes it, you give him a blank check. We talked about this, I think, on the postgame show last week. If Tyler Linderbaum is a free agent, I am paying him whatever you want. Well, I'm giving him $25 million a year, which blows the center market out of the water, but I don't care.
I don't care.
I really do not give a shit. Like he's just that. You bring in Linderbaum, you re-sign AVT or Simpson on a cheap deal, and Tippmann's your other guard, and bang, that you have a top 5 offensive line in the NFL.
Zachary Berner, Tippmann snaps high, Myers snaps low.
Once again, combine them.
Yeah, combine them.
Combine their snapping skills.
Or swap them and then have like one terrible guy and then one awesome guy.
Yeah.
So with that, we're going to call time on the Jet Press podcast. Jets are a 3-9 team. They've won 3 of their last 5, and their 2 losses were close road games against playoff contenders.
It's all you can ask for. It's progress.
The feelings that we've had about this team just now and 2 months ago, complete 180. And that's all you can hope for.
Agreed.
Justin, you feel free to take us home.
Yeah, man. I'm happy. I'm happy that we're seeing some progress. I know the Pro Tank fans probably aren't super happy, but just try to understand why others aren't, why everyone's not as Pro Tank as you. Like that's
it wins so rarely. Enjoy it.
And these wins, like they won today because Adonai Mitchell was awesome. Yeah, they won because Tyrod had a good game. And yeah, they won because Nick Folk made a 56-yard field goal. But A lot of it was Adonai Mitchell, right? A lot of it was the coaching staff pressing the right buttons at the right time. A lot of it was you have an awesome special teams coordinator who, he's his first year as a coordinator. He's gonna be back next year, right? Like there's reasons to be encouraged about this team, and I implore you to seek them out, right, and to understand why there's some potentially some light at the end of the tunnel for the Jets. We'll see. But anyway, until next time, thank you all for joining us on the show today. You can follow Mike on Twitter at @ByMikeLuciano. Follow me on Twitter, Justin T. Fried. Follow the Jet Press at the Jet Press. Download the Jet Press podcast wherever you get your podcasts. Check us out on YouTube and TikTok. Subscribe, hit that notification bell. You guys know what to do. You can also become a member today. Shout out again to Austrian Jet Fan who donated 10 memberships. You are the man. You are, once again, just funding the show at this point. You are awesome. We stream live every Wednesday at 3 p.m. Eastern time and live immediately following every single Jets game. Thank you all for listening to Jet Press Podcast. I've been Justin Fried. That has been Mike Luciano. The Jets are 3-2 in their last 5 games, and I'm feeling pretty good about it. We'll see you guys next time.
Relative to expectations, the Jets are rolling.